Kid in the gray shirt. Go. Take off over there. I'm fighting you in the leg. Throw it up. Huh? Where's your what? What? Shirt. Come on. Oh, I love the sportsmen shaking hands and everything.
That's why I get number one.
It's all right. They got
Pass the ball, pass.
What a call! That was all ball, wasn't it? There you go. Clock is stopped. Hey, other man. Yuck, I got it.
What up? What up? What's up, man? Good to see you. You want to get a group photo?
With cops, the university mayor would not play you for the years. But they were doing the same thing, they don't play ball. But you can much different. You no. You know, I mean, but you can make it constructive.
I left my water. I'll come back for the water. Okay, thank you. Okay.
You can achieve anything you want to achieve in this country. That's why it's called greatest country in the United States of America. If you want negative, you find negative. If you're looking for positive, you find positive. Let's find positive. You guys are our future leaders. We're counting on you. We're looking up on you. Each generation prepares the next generation. We want to prepare you. All right? And we believe giving a second chance, so there is no way that you should be embarrassed or shamed. We all make mistakes. I make mistakes on a daily basis, and I get second chances. And everyone deserves a second chance. Right now, I'm going to give it to Superintendent Bob. It's an honor to introduce him.
I grew up right here. This was my gym growing up. I grew up right here. I'm in charge of all the detectives, all the guys that don't wear a uniform in the police department, with the exception of the gang unit guys. Gerard is a deputy superintendent with the police department. All of these guys work for him. Jimmy Fitz and I come on the job together 28 plus years ago. He's a lieutenant, he runs the gang unit. There isn't anybody in this room, all the police officers included. Danny Mulhern was a prosecutor with the DA's office up until about 7 or 8 months ago. He's now works directly for Mayor Walsh. He runs all the youth programs, all the reentry programs, kind of coordinating all the city services in a myriad of arenas, from substance abuse to trauma, etc. I'll tell you this, and we'll give everybody an opportunity to speak. I don't want to lecture. Every single one of us in this room, every one of us made mistakes. Okay? They're but for a helping hand, they're but for the grace of God. We're all sitting in a jail cell somewhere or in a graveyard. And every one of us in this room have friends that are in graveyards because of substance abuse or that are in treatment with lifelong addictions to drugs. So I'm not going to lecture on it. You guys know what's out there. Nobody's above it. That includes, that's Superintendent Randy Halstead over there. He's the night commander of the whole city of Boston. Deputy Joe Harris, Deputy Dennis White. Dennis is night commander with Randy. Joe runs Area B over here, Roxbury, Dorchester. So, you know, you got half the leadership of the police department here. We're not here to scare you. We're here to let you know that, you know, there's services out there, there's things you can do, there's decisions you can make. We're not the bad guys. But I can tell you this, it's a lot better to work all day like we did today and then come here and play ball like you guys did. That's what we like to do too. Nothing better than coming and playing ball. Even Gerard. but there's, you know, there's the other avenue, and I just had a sandwich with a kid in headquarters about 45 minutes before I got here. I was telling Danny Mulhern, he's a kid from Warren Gardens. He was a bad gang kid that we chased around for a million years. He finally got his act together. He's working at the health center. He's got his 3 kids, and you know, he's like, Bob, like, we were out of our minds. I didn't know what we were doing, and then he got out before it was too late. Danny and I and Gerard were talking to a kid last week. He just finished 18 years in the federal penitentiary. 18 years. He's doing well now, but he talked to Danny, and I'll let Danny speak. He talked to Gerard and I down in the hospital a couple of weeks ago, and he's a kid that we knew when he was your age. Last time I seen him was 18 years ago when we put him away. Gerard was one of the people that put him away. You know, and he knows us. He's friendly to us. He comes right up. And you know what we told him? You could beat us 364 days a year. In this game where people want to steal, want to sell drugs, want to run their game, there's 365 days a year. You can beat us 364 of them. We only got to win one day. One day, and you give up your freedom. You have avenues you can take. You have people you can reach out to. We're the people you can reach out to. You can go through DECO. We don't want, the second part of it is we don't want your parents to be embarrassed. Because this is not something that only goes on in the Somali community. I'm Irish, it went on in the Irish community, and the Irish people were the same way. They got embarrassed when one of their kids got in trouble. Okay? Black community. The kids got in trouble, the families got embarrassed. Cape Verdean community. Kids got in trouble, the families got embarrassed. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's called being human. So we make mistakes, you fix it, and then you move on.
The truth of the matter is you guys aren't much different than we are, right? So I also, so you know, is, and I say this to a lot to young people, I don't live far from here. My family's not far from here. I have a 2.5-year-old son and a 4.5-month-old daughter that I hold you all directly responsible for making sure that they're safe in this city and that they can go anywhere they want. So the truth is that you all deserve exactly what everyone has in the city. It gets confusing sometimes when we feel like doors are shut on us, right? So I left the district attorney's office. I was the chief of the gang unit for about 7 or 8 years. I spent much of my time in people's living rooms after their parents had one of their children taken from them. I supervised every shooting in the city of Boston, and I handled gang-related homicides for about seven or 8 years. I work for a mayor now. Frankly, actually, everyone in this room on the police department works for a mayor now that believes in second chances, that believes in third chances, that believes in redemption more than anybody that I've ever met. And that's why I went over to work for him. I don't want to speak for the whole police department, but I was talking to some of your parents and some of the older people in the community before we're having a chance to talk now. We have the best police department in the country. And it, not because I've worked with them, not because I live here, not because they're surrounding me right now, but to a person in this room, any time that I have made a phone call, not to prosecute or to arrest, but to help a kid in this city, there hasn't been one person in this room that has ever, no matter what time, day or night, Saturday or Sunday, said no. Not once. Taking times away from their own family, taking times away from maybe a financial opportunity that they had, overtime opportunity, Once that they said no. So I can't, this is going to be the beginning of many conversations with you all. This will be the beginning, hopefully our collective team beats them the next time around, but and I'm going to stay playing with you guys.
Maybe they
figured
won't play the four corners.
Yeah. So myself and Superintendent Murner are going to bring a little bit more game the next time. But I'm just excited that you guys had us out, that you were willing to run up and down the floor. The food was spectacular. And again, we don't have to solve, Rome wasn't built in a day, right? So we run up and down the floor, we eat a little bit, we talk, we get to know each other, and then the next time we talk more and get to know each other more. But I'm just so thankful that you guys were willing to come out and run around with us.
Thank you.
Our guys, Gerard Bailey, I'm with the gang unit. Jimmy Fitzpatrick works with me, Manny works with me, John works with me. I don't know if Steve was in the yellow was with us as well. Most of the gang unit guys, they were playing with the gang unit. But just so you guys know, when there's a problem in the city, when there's violence in the city, we respond to violence. Basically, you know, if there's something going on down the Common, if there's something going on in Mattapan, Dorchester, Rockford, we're the guys that respond to it. Superintendent Halstead is a night commander. He'll call our guys down there. He'll deploy us, and we go into areas where there's problems. You're feeling inside. And I tell my kids this, the feeling inside, when something's wrong, it doesn't matter if you're in Somalia, Cape Verde, in America, New York, wherever you are. If the feeling isn't right, it ain't right. You know what I mean? You know what's wrong, you feel it in your stomach, walk away from it. You know what I mean? Don't get yourself caught up with it. You know, it is about second chances, and I wish you guys all the best of luck. We'll do anything we can to assist in the Somali community.
And if you need something, you reach out. You can get a hold of me, you can go through Deco, you can go through Danny, you can go, you know, right through the Somali Community Center, whatever you want to do. You don't want to talk to folks from the Somali community, you feel like you want to talk to us, that's fine. You don't want to talk to one of us, you want to talk to Danny or some civilians in the city about working and, you know, some other opportunities, you know, even things like, you know, kids that get kicked out of school or trying to get back into school, whatever the situation is, we can work through some of those things. Those are the things that we do.
Notice there's a theme being said here. Stay out of trouble. Don't embarrass your family. That's the one thing you learn. Family is number one. Family is number one. That's it. You have responsibility to your bloodline. You have responsibility to yourselves to be productive citizens in the city. All I'm asking you to do it. I'll tell you the same thing I told my kids when they were growing up. 2 words I always told them from the day one when they were in their crib. HIT, H-I-T, goal, G-O-A-L. Okay? Each one of those letters in that word means something. Hard work, integrity, teamwork, gain, outstanding achievements in life. I told my kids, hit goal. Your goal is you want a good job, you want an education, you stick to it. You hit goal. It's not a dead end. When things get bad, you feel like the world's caving in on you, remember that word, hit goal, and what hit goal means. Hard work, integrity, teamwork, gain, outstanding achievements in life. Period. If you stick with that, you'll be guaranteed to be a success. You won't have to deal with Bobby, Gerard, myself, Dennis, or Joe, or any other units in the gang unit. All right, you stick with that, you'll be a success. And then you'll be standing here talking to the next generation to make them better and carry on your bloodline as well. But respect your family, respect yourselves, and hit goal.
You know, just so you know, we're not thin-skinned, all right? So, and my man here he took classes from me over at Bunker Hill, because I teach at the community college as well. And usually when I walk into the classroom over at Bunker Hill, and he'll tell you, I generally have 1 or 2 white kids in my class, and we have 26, 27 students in the class. Cape Verdean, Black, Hispanic, Somalian, Sudan, it doesn't matter. And I tell them right away. And a lot of them look at me, I walk in, white shirt, blue suit, red tie, they think I'm George Bush. You know? So right off the bat, I'm a white guy with a suit and tie on, and I'm a policeman. But I can tell you, we know that there are folks that don't trust the police, don't like the police, and he'll tell you right up front. Look do we have people in our job that don't do it the right way? Yeah. But 99.9% of it do it the right way.
you guys want to say how you prevent, you know what I'm saying? When you guys are quick to charge people, you know what I mean? Like, if you're not, when you're not even in crime, you say, oh, you're quick to, you know what I'm saying, put you in jail and all that, you know what I mean?
Well, we don't go out, just like when we talk about things like police shootings, there isn't a police officer in the country that goes out and says, geez, I think I'm going to shoot somebody today. It doesn't happen. Nor do we go out and just say, I have to get an arrest today. Because we're very targeted in what we do. So the gang unit, a couple of guys that work for Gerard just arrested a kid with a gun. The mayor has tasked us with violent crime prevention and violent crime intervention. Now, violent crime is a lot of things. It's gun crime, it's armed robberies, it's phones being snatched out of people's hands. We can't, A, arrest you without some probable cause, or B, convict you without some evidence. So, you know, and does sometimes people fall up in the trap? Yeah, but I just had a conversation with a kid who said he's gotten more shakes, gotten more breaks from the police than he has been arrested.
I never met all the gang unit, and I've been here since I was 16. Okay? I never met none of them, right? Because I don't go to the territory. Nobody. I always stay out of trouble.
You don't break the law either.
Oh, the point is, we're here today. We're not finger pointing to nobody.
No?
We're here to solve community problems.
Come and
go. How can we protect our community, our city, our neighbors, and our family?
Exactly.
We're going forward. Okay, they're here
And set up communication.
And they're not here to arrest anybody.
All right, brother.
Thanks so much. Thanks, man.
Example, I drove at the high school.
You drop out of high school, yeah?
To do some minor.
For example.
For example.
Okay.
Then long time
Passes.
passes. And I don't have nothing.
So they have.
What opportunity I have?
So we get you. Danny's doing something now through the mayor for the GED program. I'll let him talk about it.
So we talk about no high school diploma of left.
And now and then you get older.
And what are my opportunities now, right? Basically, so last 3 weeks ago, and I have a follow-up meeting tomorrow with, you guys heard of the trade unions? You see all the cranes going up in Boston? So there's somewhere upwards of $10 billion in that area of work that's been already bid and contracted for in the city of Boston, right? Most of the folks that have done that work over the years look like me. They've been white and Irish, or Italian, or Polish. Right? The mayor, before he became mayor, created a program for that exact population that you're talking about. I dropped out of high school because it wasn't for me. I didn't like school all that much. Kind of got lost in the cracks, right? Kind of drifted this way, drifted that way. Maybe I got arrested wherever my friend left. Maybe I went to jail, okay? Maybe I committed some serious crimes, and I went away for many years. But how do we, right? Because everyone is coming back to our neighborhoods, right? Everyone, no matter what crime, except for first-degree murder, you're coming back to our neighborhoods. So the mayor created a program called Building Pathways. And what he said was, for that group of young people, or older people in our city, that just are wandering with no real opportunity, let's figure out an opportunity for them, right? Building Pathways is an apprenticeship program that guarantees you a spot in any of the trade unions, that guarantees you a spot working on one of those job sites, that guarantees you roughly, the numbers that were thrown out 3 weeks ago, roughly between $85,000 and $125,000 a year, okay?
Hard labor.
Hard labor.
Iron work.
But what you have to be committed to, right? You have to be committed to getting up early every day. You got to pee in a cup. You got to be drug free. If you like to smoke, you got to stop smoking. If you like to get high in other ways, you can't, because it's a job safety issues, right? And all you have to do is, you don't even have to have your high school diploma, but you have to have your high school equivalency or your GED. And the mayor has said, look, I want to expand this Building Pathways program. I want to make sure that young people in our city don't get lost in the cracks. I want to make sure that it's just not a temporary job, but it's a career. You guys know what an annuity is? Okay, I didn't know what an annuity was either, and I've been a lawyer for 15 years, right? The unions pay into annuities for you if you join their union. So for every hour that you work in the union, they put aside money for you. What's your name? Sahid? Yeah. All right, Sahid. So Sahid, am I saying that correctly? Sahid?
Sa'id. Sa'id.
Hi, Sahid. Sahid. All right.
Guttural
All
stop.
right. Thank you. Sorry. Sahid starts in the carpenters union. He ultimately goes through the apprentice program. I think the going wage by hour for a carpenter is $38 an hour, 40 hours an hour. For every hour that he works, the union puts aside money. When he retires, aside from Saeed's pension, he gets a check. It's called an annuity. They talked about the average annuity payout in the unions. The average payout to my friend after working 30 years in the union and working hard, honest living, is $3 million. So when you leave the union, based on all that time in the union, along with your pension, they pay you out $3 million. Now let's assume for a second, right? Let's assume for a second that hard labor isn't for you. There are so many programs that you can tap through this crowd here that are re-engagement opportunity, educational opportunities. College Bound is the first thing that I think of. If you guys are familiar with College Bound, they'll pay you to get your high school equivalency, and their goal is to get everyone through to a 2-year associate's degree at community college. There are so many programs that are available to you guys. Maybe if you couldn't engage traditionally, like going to a high school. Look, I hated school. I went to high school, I hated it. I went to college, I hated it. I went to law school, I hated it. I hated every second of every minute that I spent in a classroom. But I have my law degree now because I just kept getting kicked by people in my neighborhood that said, look, you can move forward. Bobby was one of the people when I was a kid that used to kick me in the right direction.
Just means I'm old.
You know, so there were so many opportunities for any of us that decided to leave school. You know, so there's a lot of stuff available for you guys.
So like Danny said, you know, and we'll answer any question. We're not going to solve it all here tonight, but there are resources. We don't want you to look at the police as the enemy or the occupying force. There's resources for you. We're not looking to have people be snitches or any of that stuff, but it's better for us if we engage young people into doing the right thing as opposed to throwing handcuffs on them. Because we don't want to throw handcuffs on people, and you know, that's the end of it. Once you start down that road, that doesn't mean once you made a mistake you can't come back, but you know, if you keep on that path, then it gets harder and harder.
If we have our way, tonight is just the first of, I'd even like to suggest that maybe we do it monthly, because, you know, I'll give an example. Manny and I have been, and other people have joined, but Manny and I have been doing this over on Bowden Street for probably the last 6 or 7 years, maybe even more than that, with the Cape Verdean community. And we go back out every month. And the relationships that we, and through extension, have made with the kids in that neighborhood has led to internships. It's led to recommendations to college. It's led to internships and full-time employment with the Boston Police Department, employment with the City of Boston. In my time, it led to employment at the District Attorney's Office. So our way, look, we know we can't come in here, have a conversation with you, eat delicious food, and solve all of our problems, right? So when I say to you, we believe that we would like to do this once a month and come back, and if you guys have issues that you want to talk about, or for example, if there's something that the police department did in that month period that you were unhappy about, any one of these gentlemen in this room would be happy to answer any questions to you. We can't solve every problem, but you're going to find very quickly that people in here will always be honest with you and tell you the truth. So, yeah, we can do this. I'd like to do it.
And what we'd like is the next time to have 30 kids in the room, 30 of your friends in the room, and the next time after that, we'd like to have 60 kids in the room.
I recommend the guys on the green team start practicing a little bit.
I recommend some guys start playing both ends of the court.
Yes, sir.
To follow with this question, is there any way that us, Somali kids can get like a day or so at the gym just by themselves?
Yeah, I can. I'll be happy to. The day that we had this meeting, we called.
Like weekly, like weekend?
I promise you to look into that for you. I can't answer it yet, but so BCYF, all the gyms and the Boston Center for Youth and Families, that comes out of the mayor's office. I'm happy to talk to the chief of BCYF, who's a guy named Felix Arroyo. He's a guy that came from my neighborhood also, and I'm happy to talk to the mayor to find out if we can find a specific time for you guys. Okay?
We need that. We'll follow up. Thank you. I want to thank everyone. Guys, resources is here. Every one of us care. We have to give us 100%. We have to be committed. The help is there.
Hit
Comes
goal,
with a hard
gentlemen,
work.
hit goal.
Huh?
Hit goal.
Hit goal. All right.
That's all I'm about to do now.